Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to use our brains to get out of the vicious cycle we're in. We've talked in previous lessons about how we've trained ourselves to desire alcohol. If you can train yourself to drink, you can untrain yourself. Training yourself to desire alcohol is something that you've done unwittingly, but knowing that you've trained yourself to do it will help you recognize that you can train yourself to undo it. The desire to drink and the desire to overdrink are completely harmless. The fact that you've trained your lower brain to produce desire, it's completely harmless. When it becomes harmful is when you obey that desire. The fact that you have desire to drink is not a problem. That's why you can turn this around so quickly. You can coexist with that desire as long as you're not trying to resist it. When you're trying to resist the desire, that's when you create anxiety, which makes the desire for alcohol increase. You can coexist with harmless desires with no problem. Let's discuss cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when you disagree with yourself. You have a desire to stop drinking or stop over drinking, and you have a desire to drink. It's important to make room for both of those desires, to understand where they're coming from, and to give them both their due process. We want to get rid of that desire to drink, so we try to soothe it as quickly as possible. We're just like Pavlov's dogs. So Pavlov was a Russian psychologist known for his work in classical conditioning. He conducted an experiment where every time the researchers were about to feed dogs, they rang a bell, and the dogs started drooling. The dogs associated the bell with the reward that was coming, eating, and had an automatic response. They also responded to the footsteps of the women carrying the food. These women wore clogs, which made a distinctive sound. So when it comes to drinking, you're having a Pavlovian response. When you just try to extinguish it, you're not going to be able to do it. It's kind of like putting the drool back in the dog's mouth. The more you try, the more they're going to want to eat. To retrain a drooling dog, the women need to come into the room but not feed them. Over time, they'll stop having the drooling response. They'll stop thinking they're going to be fed every time the women come down the hall. That's why simply resisting alcohol doesn't work. The response is already programmed in. Resisting it just intensifies the desire. In psych talk, that's called intermittent reinforcement, and intermittent reinforcement intensifies the learned behavior. When you have cognitive dissonance, you're creating your own anxiety within yourself because you're trying to let one of those thoughts win. I want to drink. I don't want to drink. I want to drink. I don't want to drink. These thoughts are at battle within you. Remember, increased anxiety increases the desire to drink in order to get relief from that anxiety. When played against each other, those conflicting thoughts are a problem. When you allow them to coexist with understanding, they are no longer a problem. You can unlearn the desire to drink just as easily as you have learned the desire to drink. And here's another thing. When you stop drinking, you create withdrawal. This is even for those who drink a couple of glasses of wine a night. We create an emotional withdrawal because we're not feeding our programming. We're not closing the loop on that neural pathway. There's also the withdrawal from the dopamine we would normally get when we honor the programming. The alcohol causing the withdrawal is now satisfying the withdrawal as well. Can you believe this? The alcohol is causing the withdrawal and solving the withdrawal with alcohol. Both. For you to feel normal, you need not to feel withdrawal. You have to consume the exact substance that's causing it. Can you see the perpetuation here? That's why it feels so powerful to so many people, because the very thing that causes the withdrawal solves it. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about why we don't want to stop drinking alcohol.